I started this event back in 2017 to create a space where people can just share a moment of their lives and not fear judgment, criticism, but feel very empowered to be as authentic, vulnerable, and real as they wanted to be. And we've all been there. You think you're all alone, you don't think anyone cares, you don't believe that anyone will understand, and you think that you can't get out. Right now, someone out there is going through exactly the same emotional process. Your circumstances are unique when you went through it, but the feeling of suck is very much the same. The loneliness, the guilt, the shame, all the dysfunctional stories in your head. Someone's going through that right now.
For the last 22 years of my career working with the big banks, one of the big things that people ask me is, Sean, what are you passionate about? And why do you do this business? Being able to help clients save money. Let's face it, life's expensive and it doesn't seem to be getting any cheaper. The key is consolidation and refinance.
Surrey Honda features a large selection of previously owned vehicles. Finance and lease rates are available 7 days a week. The parts and service department is only closed Sundays, and there's multilingual staff on site. At Surrey Honda, 15291 Fraser Highway, 1 block east of 152nd.
Express Lane Auto Body is family-owned and operated with over 20 years of auto repair experience. The ICBC accredited body shop is located at 132nd and 78th Avenue in Surrey.
Welcome to this space that I've created. It's actually for you. So this space tonight, it's an opportunity to put aside everything that's outside. A trigger warning. All of the stories that you're hearing tonight are personal in nature and can encroach on dark topics of abuse, self-harm, addictions, or going down paths which might trigger you. And if that's the case, the exit is to your left, and the lounge, the beautiful lounge, is just outside. You can just chill out, and when you're ready to return and join us, you can do so at that time.
So he sends me on August 2nd, 8:15 p.m. Knowledge, wisdom, life, learning, letting go, transcend, awakening, love, infinity, soul, energy. If I said that to that heart over there, that heart would bust into 1,000 pieces. I send back to him ignorance, death, stupid. Oh, and my screen. Pulling back, withdrawal, sleep, hate, now, crush, die. 2.6 seconds later, I get a phone call from him. Bella, what's going on? Angelo, what's going on? And I said, I don't know who you are. I don't know why you're scamming me. I'm a good person. I don't understand why you're taking my money. And he says, what are you talking about? And he had a beautiful Italian accent, so it was almost hard to not to just listen to him forever. And Silver Fox with an Italian accent. It was good, I'm telling you. Then he says, what are you talking about? And I said, I know that you've stolen someone else's identity. I know you're not who you are. I know that if this money doesn't come back to me, I will be okay. I've surrounded myself with people that love and accept me. I surround myself with people that I have 1,000 couches that I could couch surf until the end of time. I could sell absolutely every single thing I own except one piece of art that means a lot to me, and I will be okay. I said, you have a gift for good. If those were your words that we've exchanged over the last month, you need to go write a book because it's incredible. I'm going to write the book because I kept the words because they're fantastic. And I said, and I forgive you. I forgive you because you don't know what you're doing. He said, Jeanette, I'm going to say one word, and then I'm going to hang up the phone. And he said, time. And he hung up the phone. I'm like, okay, so this is Friday night. Saturday, as a good citizen, I phoned the RCMP. I called and I let them know I needed someone to come out and talk to me. I need to do a police report. It's the proper citizen thing to do. Maybe I can help some other women or men with a similar story. I had an RCMP officer, Constable Wu, come out to my house for 2 hours. His car was kept running beside my little cottage where I live in the forest, because in case something more important came about, he had to make a run for it. And he listened to my story. He was a man that was present. He was a man that came with a full heart. He was a man not overpromising. He was a man that was just incredible and patient and very, very kind. And that was amazing. And he took my story. Then the next day I had to leave for a convention, to go to Salt Lake City. And a road trip, we had to get there by Wednesday, and I love road trips. I love the food you get to eat while you're going on a road trip. I just love that. Nothing counts when you're in the car on a road trip. And sharing the driving with my best girlfriend. And we get into Salt Lake City on the Tuesday night, and we're snuggled into the hotel, and she says, Jeanette, you don't seem like you're yourself. I know who you are, and you didn't seem like you enjoyed this trip at all. And I let it go. I let it go. That this I had been taken advantage of. I had put my heart out there. I felt shame. I felt not very seen for truly what I am. And she hugged me and she said, Jeanette, it's going to be okay. Because part of what you see in my bio, I am the co-founder for the world's first Gratitude and Appreciation Summit coming to Langley, British Columbia. I so believe in the foundation when we are grateful and when we show appreciation that the world changes. So this money, this 30,000 US translated to 40,000 Canadian, was earmarked for that. And I looked at her and I said, I feel so ashamed because that money's not going to be there for our big event. And she said, Jeanette, I believe so much in you. I believe so much in what we're doing. We'll find the money. Had a glass of wine, tucked myself into bed. Got up the next morning, went into their convention, and we're sitting there in the classroom setting. I get a message from my bank. Jeanette, the money will be back in your account by the end of the day. I will remember this sound till the day I die. My girlfriend's sitting beside me. She's wearing a tank top. She's got a bare arm, and I smack her. And that resounding sound of being smacked. And she's like, why did you just smack me? And I took my phone and I went, look. And she's like, oh my gosh. And we start crying. And she said, I'm like, our Gratitude and Appreciation Summit. Oh my gosh, we're so excited. The rest of the trip was a blur. We came back. It was great. Little did I tell you is when I was talking to the police officer, he said, you know what, I'm going to get you in touch with victim services because you're probably going through a lot of stuff in your head right now. You need to talk to somebody. They need to hear your story and help you. Well, when I got back, there was a letter from victim services with my file number. And I called them and I said, hey, I got your letter. This is my file number. I says, I just want to call you and let you know I have good news. And she's like, what? I said, I got my money back. She said, Jeanette, I don't know who you are. I don't know what karma you're doing out there in the world. I don't know what's going on. She says, I have been doing this job for 11 years. No one has ever got their money back. 3 to 5 people a day, 3 to 5 people a week in the Langley area, because that's where I'm from, call in victims of fraud doing with money. I taught her, talk about leveling up, I taught her how to do the Google reverse lookup. She now has a new tool to teach other people. I then bravely and courageously made the phone call to the police officer. And I said, "Constable Wu, this is Jeanette." And he goes, "Oh, Jeanette." And I said, "Constable Wu, I have good news. I got my money back." Again, he said, "Jeanette, I have never heard good news. Not about money, but good news as a police officer." And I said, "And I also want to say thank you for showing up as a man, not promising, being present, because in the dating world, that's what I needed. I needed to be seen, I needed to be accepted, and I needed to be not judged. And you brought that into my life." I could hear him on the other end saying, "Wow, thank you so much." And because he was a young officer, he was probably in his mid-20s, late 20s, in my heart, I felt he knew he was doing the right job that he should be doing. And it just made it all worthwhile. So by how I'm leveling up is it's so important, people, to go back to the people who are in your life. I call Mark in the corner. Him and I have been connected both professionally and on LinkedIn for about 4 years. He's my super fan, super conductor, and anything that I post on LinkedIn is to make sure that we go back. And if you have an opportunity to say thank you, if you have an opportunity to bring up or level up somebody, do it. It will change your life. And I sit here as a woman who I love. The foundation of, I sit here in tingles right now. I love. And I love the fact that I have a friend, Ben Baker, who connected me to Winston so that I could share this story. So take pieces of it, and I hope courageously you all go and level up using gratitude and appreciation.
There you go, you did it.
Surrey Honda features a large selection of previously owned vehicles. Finance and lease rates are available 7 days a week. The parts and service department is only closed Sundays, and there's multilingual staff on site at Surrey Honda, 15291 Fraser Highway, 1 block east of 152nd.
Express Lane Auto Body is family owned and operated with over 20 years of auto repair experience. The ICBC accredited body shop is located at 132nd and 78th Avenue in Surrey.
When I was working with Jeanette on her story, she mentioned social media. So being curious, and I don't have a cat, so I can't kill it. I didn't reverse image search myself, but I did kind of Google my name, and I was surprised at how massive of a digital footprint that I had. Like it blew my mind. I sat there and it's like, wow, this goes all the way back to Friendster. I don't know if anyone remembers Friendster, but I go, and I can't get rid of any of this stuff. So what am I going to do? So it actually, like listening to her story, kind of like creeped me out a little bit. Actually, it creeped me out a lot. That there was so much of me out there. Luckily, not a lot of photos. just a lot of my name popping up. But then that was linked to a lot of content that I posted on forums to help people out to give of what I knew. But what could be done with that if you can't erase it? What happens to all this information that's stuck on the internet? Well, luckily, I had another speaker that I had the fortunate pleasure to work with who can tell me what happens to that information that's out on the internet. So I invite Jenna Walmsley to the stage to share her story.
I think I'll use the stand. Yeah, that's good. Hello, everybody. I'm excited to be here tonight. I've done a couple of storytellings before. I find them very enjoyable and very therapeutic, but I also enjoy the enlightenment from listening to the other speakers. Now, as Winston introduced me, he introduced me as Janet Walmsley, and that's exactly who I am. And it's just like when you're introduced or someone introduces you, you are very honest in saying who you are. Now, my story tonight is going to center around identity and 3 different identity levels and step-ups that I have done. My identity started in Manitoba, where I was born and raised, and my parents had actually going to be named, they were going to name me Brenda Doreen. But then they decided, no, we're going with Janet Gale. And you know, I gotta say, I'm kind of happy, because I feel I suit Janet Gale better. Now, when I was a child, my personality, what my identity with that was, I was very bubbly, I was very outgoing, I was very active, which I still am today at 64. And in these years, these 64 years of mine, I have gone through a lot of next steps, a lot of next levels, where I had, with some of them, I needed courage, I needed strength, I needed to be assertive, because I had fears that I had to conquer, and I had barriers that were coming in front of me that I had to push away. The first one is marriage. I was married 3 times, and each time my last name changed with that identity, and I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would be married 3 times. I was only planning to be married once. As a young woman, my ideal was, oh, I was going to have this loving husband and children, and I had that white picket fence scenario and that fantasy dream and the fairy tale of being married happily ever after. Well, my first marriage, I was 19 coming 20, and I fell, and did I fall hard. He was a fellow from Germany, and we hit it off right away, and then he had to go back to Germany, and he said, I'd love you to come and visit. And I said, sure. So off I went at 19. My parents were horrified. I was going to a foreign country. I was only going for 5 weeks, Mom and Dad, it'll be okay. I never came back. Yeah, I ended up really loving this guy, ended up getting married. We were married for 10 years, and out of that marriage, we had a beautiful son. I tried really hard with this marriage to keep it together. But when you have his own parents saying to you, Janet, we don't like the way he's treating you. He's not good. And I thought, okay, then something's up. Because there I was a devoted wife, a devoted mom. I was the main breadwinner. I was keeping us financially afloat, and he was doing the exact opposite. He would work from time to time, end up quitting or be fired, and he'd just lay on the couch, drinking, eating, smoking, going out with his friends. I'm going, wait a minute. I don't feel like his wife. I feel like his mother. I feel like a slave. I feel like his caretaker. And how dare this identity of marriage betray me like this? My vision of this happily ever after and love, it was gone. And not only was, I was young, right? I was young, but I knew this isn't what a wife and husband was supposed to be like. I mean, I wasn't expecting perfection, but I was expecting, some togetherness and joy. And not only was I going through that, but there was something that happened that just stuck right in my heart like a knife. When we were going out, he became very flirtatious, very womanizing. And I thought, I disappeared, like I wasn't even there. And I thought, oh, well, why is he doing this? I'm so good to him. I'm such a devoted wife. I waited on hand and foot, and with his child, I was such a good mom. But number one, I was faithful, but I couldn't say the same about him. And so I had to take my next step, divorce. Not that I wanted to. I did everything I possibly could to keep it together. But when he had the affair, that was the last straw. I decided to hit the road. And you know, it really pummeled my self-esteem because I thought, whoa, what is wrong with me? What did I do wrong? So now we go on to the second marriage. I called it in a phrase, I think I went from the frying pan into the fire. I did it again. I fell hard. I thought, oh my God, this is the one. I did it. Thank you, God. I finally met the one. It's my second marriage, and it'll be the last one. We were together for 8 years, and out of that marriage, she's here tonight, is our lovely daughter right there. And I thought, you know, at first he was so good with my son at first. And that was the number one importance for me when you have a child, when someone else is coming into your life. But, oh boy, was I wrong? Was I wrong? Do I have bad choice in men or what? The controlling started. The verbal abuse, the mental abuse, and some physical abuse. And I couldn't do anything right. I couldn't say anything right. The way I talked, the way I dressed, the way I looked, how I was as a mother, how I cooked. And it was just like walking on eggshells continually. I was scared whatever I was going to say or do. Oh, for example, we lived in Yellowknife, and we had, it's called a water backwash system. And I was helping him because it wasn't working. And, you know, I was being a nice wife, kind wife, passing him tools and all that. And then I just, you know, out of the blue mentioned, what's that hole up there? And he turned around and he looked at me and he said, you're so stupid. He took this big container of this dirty, vile-smelling backwash and poured it right over me. And I said, oh God, what have I done? What have I done? And he also knew, in another direction, he also knew I was very self-conscious about being small-chested, flat-chested. And he would dig into me like a knife to make me feel bad about that. He would say, oh, you're so ugly, you're so fortunate you've got me, because who else would want a woman with a flat chest like what you have? And there was other comments as well. It wore me down. It defeated me. I got to the point that the Janet that I was losing. But with my children, they always ignited the light, and Janet could come back with them. But however, I couldn't do it with him. He was able to brainwash me. He was able to pound the Janet out of me. And I couldn't understand it, because here we go again. I was this caring, loving wife, mom. I had a really good paying professional job. I was intelligent, I was outgoing, I was social, I was fun. But somehow, I allowed this man to take that away from me. I allowed him to rob the essence of who I was and take my personality identity. Why? And when I thought about this, you always think that you're the best person that you can be, and you do your utmost for them. But I thought, no, I can't do this anymore. And you're probably wondering, well, why didn't she divorce him sooner with all this stuff? There are two reasons why I didn't. I'll say the second one first. Pride. I was so worried what other people were going to think about me. They'd be going, oh, look at Janet's already going through another divorce. What's that all about? And now she's going to go through another one? Mind games going on in my head. But the first one, I was terrified to leave. I was scared because I didn't know if I was going to be able to get out of there safe with my kids. So I had to do my next step, another level. I had to be courageous, and I had to be strategic to be able to get my kids and I out there safely. Well, fortunately, my kids did get out. But I got cornered in the bathroom at her house with him screaming and yelling in my face, going, I'm going to kill you, and then you're not going to be alive, and your children are not going to have their mother. boy, did I ever have to think Johnny on the spot. I had to do my best Oscar-winning performance because I had to create a space in between him and I so I could run the hell out of there and get to my kids. What could I do? Think fast, Jeanette. Stroke his ego. So I, like he was a god, I was bending down and saying, I'm so sorry, it's all me. What the hell have I done? It's me, it's not you. There's something wrong with me. You know, please forgive me. And I was going on and on and on. It worked. I sweetened his ego enough that I created that space in between me, and I was able to run out of there as fast as my legs could take me. So my next level, my next step, I ended up at the women's transition house with my children, and we stayed there till it was safe enough for us to leave. My identity changed back to being a single mom, and I said, I am never getting married again. I'm just being here for my kids, and that's my life. And I also went to group therapy, and my God, that's the best thing I ever did. It helped me immensely, enlightened me, not only about marriage, but about me. Because there I was in this room with a group of about 8, 9 women, and I was looking at mirror images of myself. These professional, lovely, beautiful women inside and out who had been pummeled to the ground from their men. They had their self-esteem ripped right out of them, and they were being controlled every day. And one thing I remember we got from this group therapy, and I still have it today, it's a wooden flower, and it has a wooden stem, and on the petals, it has your personality traits. And some of mine were caring, giving, loving, warm, and those are beautiful, beautiful traits to have. What they do is they can cause you to be abused, they can cause you to be used and to be taken advantage of.